The crystal chandelier cast dancing shadows across Mom's Versace dress as she reached for the stack of papers, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. We were gathered in the formal dining room for Dad's 65th birthday. The perfect time, they thought, to fix my life choices. "These transfer documents are for your own good, sweetheart," Mom said, her perfectly manicured fingers sliding the papers across our great-grandfather's mahogany table. "It's time to stop playing with those silly medical devices and join the real family business." I glanced at my father, who sat at the head of the table, swirling his 30-year-old Macallan. His silver hair and bespoke suit projected the image of success he'd cultivated over 4 decades in pharmaceutical sales. "Dad. Listen to your mother, Alexandra," he sighed, not meeting my eyes. "Henderson Pharmaceuticals needs you. Your sister Caroline is already vice president of sales. You could be heading up distribution within a year." Caroline, perfectly coiffed in her Chanel suit, gave me that sympathetic look I'd grown to hate. "It's not that your research isn't interesting, Allie. But let's be realistic. How long can you keep tinkering in that little lab of yours?" My little lab. A converted warehouse space where I'd spent the last 5 years developing revolutionary medical diagnostic devices. They dismissed my biomedical engineering degree from MIT as a phase, my research grants as hobby money, and my patents pending as pipe dreams. The family company's distribution division cleared $89 million last quarter, Caroline continued, checking her rose gold Rolex. "Meanwhile, you're burning through your trust fund on, what was it again? Microrobots. Nanoscale diagnostic devices," I corrected quietly, touching the simple silver watch on my wrist. A watch that contained more computing power than their entire corporate headquarters. "And I haven't touched my trust fund in 3 years. Mom waved her hand dismissively, her rings catching the light. "Regardless, it's time to grow up. These papers will transfer your pending patents to Henderson Pharmaceuticals. We'll have our legal team look them over, maybe find some useful applications. In return, you'll get a proper executive position." My phone buzzed silently in my pocket. Years of family dinners had taught me to keep it on vibrate, but this was the notification I'd been waiting for. Carefully, I slipped it out beneath the table. "Breakthrough patent approved. Diagnostic nanotech platform validated. Bidding starts at $5.8 billion. I took a slow sip of water, watching Mom arrange the transfer papers with the same precision she used to arrange her charity gala seating charts. My sister was already typing on her phone, probably messaging the board about her upcoming triumph in bringing me into the fold. "The sooner you sign, the sooner we can announce your new position," Mom continued. "I've already spoken to the country club about hosting a welcome reception. The Ashworth's son William will be there. He's single now, you know." I touched my watch, activating a secure channel to my legal team. The message was simple: execute Protocol Omega. "Before I sign anything," I said carefully, "perhaps we should discuss exactly what these patents entail." Dad's attention finally shifted from his scotch. "Your mother's right, Alexandra. It's time to be practical. Whatever these devices are, they'll benefit from Henderson Pharmaceuticals' resources." My phone buzzed again. "Who confirmation received? FDA Fast Track approved. Global Health Organizations standing by." "Actually," I said, straightening in my chair, "I think we should talk about how Henderson Pharmaceuticals might benefit from my resources." Caroline laughed, the sound echoing off the antique china displayed in the cabinet behind her. "Your resources? This cute Allie. What are you going to do, sell your little robots at a science fair?" The final notification lit up my phone. Major pharma companies initiating bidding war. Current offer, $6.2 billion and climbing. I stood slowly, smoothing my simple black dress. Not designer, but perfectly tailored. "No, Caroline. I'm going to revolutionize medical diagnostics. My little robots can detect diseases at the molecular level before symptoms even appear. They can monitor drug interactions in real time, prevent adverse reactions, and deliver targeted treatments." Mom's hand froze over the papers. "What are you talking about? The patents you're so eager to acquire?" I pulled up the approval notification on my phone, displaying it on the dining room's smart screens. "They were just approved. And they're worth significantly more than your distribution division's quarterly earnings." The color drained from Dad's face as he read the numbers. Caroline's phone slipped from her fingers. clattering against her Bernardod plate. That's impossible, she whispered. Is it? I touched my watch again, bringing up holographic displays of my technology in action. Microscopic machines danced through blood vessels, identifying cancer cells, detecting pathogens and delivering precision treatments. While you were all planning my corporate makeover, I was changing the future of medicine. Mom's hands trembled as she reached for the transfer papers. Darling, surely we can discuss this as a family. We are discussing it, I said softly. Just not quite the way you planned. I checked my watch one last time. Now about those documents. The sound of shattering crystal cut through the room. Dad's Scotch glass had slipped from his fingers, spreading 30 years of single malt across the Persian carpet. But for once Mom didn't even notice the stain. She was too busy watching her carefully laid plans evaporate like morning dew under the harsh light of my success. The silence in the dining room was broken only by the gentle hum of my holographic displays, showing nanobots effortlessly navigating through human cells. The images cast an ethereal blue glow across the shocked faces of my family members, their carefully maintained composure cracking like thin ice. 6.2 billion? Dad finally managed, his voice barely a whisper. He reached for his Scotch glass, remembered it was in pieces on the floor, and instead gripped the edge of the table. That's more than Henderson Pharmaceuticals' entire market cap. Current market cap, I corrected, checking my watch. It's actually dropping as we speak. Word of my patents is already hitting the markets. Caroline scrambled to pull up her stock trading app, her perfectly manicured nails clicking frantically against the screen. Oh my God, she breathed. Our shares are down 12% in the last hour. The board is blowing up my phone. Mom's hand shook as she tried to discreetly slide the transfer papers back toward herself. I caught them with one finger, letting a small smile play across my lips. Looking for these? Don't worry, I've had my legal team prepare some alternative documents. I pulled out my own folder, the thick paper bearing my company's watermark. Quantum Diagnostics Incorporated, though they're quite different from what you had in mind. Alternative documents? Mom's voice had lost its usual commanding tone. Yes. You see, while Henderson Pharmaceuticals' distribution network is adequate for traditional medications, it's completely unsuited for my technology. I began laying out papers one by one. However, I'm willing to offer you a limited partnership agreement. Under my terms. The doorbell rang, its chime echoing through the tension-filled room. Right on schedule. That would be my team, I said, standing smoothly. I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of inviting them to Dad's birthday celebration. They're rather essential to this discussion. Before anyone could object, our butler Thompson appeared, leading a group of distinguished-looking individuals into the dining room. My lead counsel, Sarah Chin, nodded professionally. Behind her, Dr. James Wright, former head of the FDA's Advanced Medical Division, adjusted his bow tie. And bringing up the rear was Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the WHO's chief of innovation. What is this? Dad demanded, some of his old authority creeping back into his voice. This, I gestured to my guests, is what actual pharmaceutical innovation looks like. I touched my watch, expanding the holographic display to show global medical data. My nanotech platform isn't just another drug delivery system. It's a complete paradigm shift in medical diagnosis and treatment. Dr. Wright stepped forward, his bow tie slightly askew as always. Ms. Henderson's technology represents the most significant breakthrough in medical diagnostics since the invention of the MRI. The FDA has fast-tracked approval across all major categories. Caroline's face had gone pale, her iPhone forgotten in her hand. But our distribution networks are obsolete for this technology, Dr. Rodriguez cut in. Quantum diagnostics nanobots require specialized handling and programming. The WHO has already certified their proprietary delivery system as the new global standard. Mom's social training finally kicked in. Perhaps we could discuss this over coffee in the living room? Thompson can serve. No need, I interrupted, laying out the final document. Everything's prepared right here. This agreement offers Henderson Pharmaceuticals a 5% stake in Quantum Diagnostics distribution subsidiary. It's more than generous, considering your company's current trajectory. As if on cue, Caroline's phone buzzed again. Stocks down 18%, she whispered. The board is calling an emergency meeting. They might want to wait on that, Sarah Chin suggested, her legal pad ready. This offer expires in. She checked her Patek Philippe. Exactly 20 minutes. Dad reached for the documents with trembling hands. All this time in that warehouse lab. I wasn't playing with toys, I finished for him. I was building something that will save millions of lives. I pulled up another holographic display, this one showing real-time disease detection in a patient. My nanobots can identify cancer cells months before traditional screening, track viral mutations during epidemics, and deliver targeted treatments with zero side effects. The implications for global health are staggering, Dr. Rodriguez added. Major health organizations worldwide are already implementing Ms. Henderson's protocols. Mom's society smile had completely crumbled. But surely as family, I cut in, you were ready to seize my patents for a fraction of their worth. You dismissed my work as a hobby. You tried to bribe me with an executive title I neither wanted nor needed. I checked my watch again. 15 minutes left on the offer. Caroline finally found her voice. The board will never approve. The board doesn't have a choice, Sarah Chin interjected smoothly. Based on current market reactions, Henderson Pharmaceuticals stock will likely drop 40% by morning. This partnership offer is the only thing that might stabilize it. Dad's hands shook as he reached for his reading glasses. 5%. But the technology, we should have full access. You should be grateful for any access, Dr. Wright said firmly. Every major pharmaceutical company in the world is bidding for collaboration rights. I've never seen anything like it. My phone buzzed one final time. Current valuation, $7.1 billion. Major tech companies entering bidding. 10 minutes, I announced, placing a pen on top of the documents. Oh, and Dad. I smiled softly. Happy birthday. Consider this 5% stake my gift. It's worth more than Henderson Pharmaceuticals will be by tomorrow morning. The only sound in the room was the scratching of Dad's pen as he signed, his carefully built pharmaceutical empire crumbling in the face of my silly medical devices. Mom never did get around to serving that coffee. 1 week later, I stood in my little lab, watching the sunrise through the floor-to-ceiling windows I'd installed when I first bought the warehouse. The space looked different now. Less like the hobby workshop my family had dismissed and more like the command center of a medical revolution. Holographic displays filled the air with cascading data, tracking my nanobots as they performed diagnostics in hospitals across the globe. The morning light caught the edge of my watch as I reviewed the latest numbers. 30,000 lives saved, 47 types of cancer detected in early stages, and a stock valuation that had soared to $9.3 billion. Ms. Henderson, my assistant David appeared silently at my side. Your family is here. I checked the time, 7 a.m. sharp. All of them. Yes. Your father appears to have aged considerably since last week. Your sister hasn't quite managed her usual polish. And your mother, he paused diplomatically, brought a rather large Hermes bag filled with what appears to be promotional materials for Henderson Pharmaceuticals. Still trying to salvage something, I murmured. Show them in, please. Full display protocol. The lab transformed as they entered. Hidden screens emerged from sleek walls, holographic projections intensified, and the floor became transparent, revealing the massive production facility below where my nanobots were being manufactured in sterile conditions. Good God, Dad breathed, his usually immaculate appearance showing signs of strain. His tie was slightly askew and his silver hair hadn't seen its usual styling. This is what you built. This, I gestured to the surrounding technology, is what happens when you invest in innovation instead of sales conferences in the Bahamas. Caroline stumbled slightly in her Louboutins, catching herself on a nearby console. The past week had clearly taken its toll. Her designer outfit couldn't quite hide the dark circles under her eyes. The board meeting yesterday. It was a massacre. Our stock dropped another 15%. I completed her sentence, pulling up real-time market data. Meanwhile, Quantum Diagnostics just secured contracts with the top 10 hospital systems in Asia. I paused, allowing that to sink in. How's the distribution division performing? Mom stepped forward, her Hermes bag clutched like a shield. Darling, we've prepared some proposals. Henderson Pharmaceuticals has decades of experience. In an industry that's about to be transformed, I cut in, activating a global display showing my technology's implementation. These red dots? Each one represents a hospital using my diagnostic platform. The blue dots are orders waiting to be filled. Notice anything? They stared at the map, which was nearly covered in overlapping dots. Your 5% stake, I continued, is worth more than Henderson Pharmaceuticals' entire market value. And that's just the beginning. Dad's business instincts finally surfaced through his shock. We could merge the companies. With our experience. Your experience? I tapped my watch, showing data. My system is 300% more efficient. My AI logistics beat your methods. My diagnostics? Perfect accuracy. Caroline paled. The Singapore contract. Cancelled? They signed with me, I said. So did all major hospitals in Southeast Asia. A chime echoed. I took the call on speaker. Dr. Henderson, the WHO director, said, "We're ready to launch your pandemic protocol worldwide." Thank you. My team will start at once. I turned to my family. That's real pharmaceutical innovation. Mom's mask cracked. The charity gala. What do I tell the board? Tell them while you plan my makeover, I was reinventing healthcare. While Caroline gave seminars, I built tech that makes old drugs useless. Dad slumped. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have listened? I asked, watching nanobots being built. You called it tinkering. This is my business now. Caroline slid down the wall. The lab. It was never just a lab. No. It's the world's most advanced medical facility. The start of a new era. But the 5% I gave you stays, I added. You'll earn more from that than the company ever made. Dad nodded slowly. Under your leadership. Yes. Under mine. I glanced at my watch. Who is waiting? David will show you out. I paused. And Caroline, I bought your building. It's now a research center. As I left, I saw my reflection. Calm, strong, victorious. Behind me, my family faced their broken empire, their images drowned in endless data streams. Those silly devices, they mocked, were exactly what the world needed. True revolutions start with someone willing to think differently.